So I've got another Neo Geo video for you guys today featuring the Consolized MVS, the OMVS from Taytalk Labs. Absolutely love this thing. Had NeoBios 4.0 built into it. We have the DB15 style, controller connectors and whatnot. Pretty awesome system. The Sega Genesis Model 2 video output port, so we can use the Rad2X, HD Retrovision cables, all that good stuff, right? The one upgrade for this that I thought would be pretty neat, not 100% necessary, but it does have its uses, was adding a memory card to it. So yeah, this is an arcade machine, consolized, but if you remember back in the day, they did have MVS units in the arcade that you could put in your AES, memory card and transfer saves back and forth, continue at the arcade, take it home if you were fortunate enough to have an AES. I never had one of those memory cards back in the day. I did play the arcade machines. I didn't have an AES. I was like kind of out of grasp for a lot of us commoners, right? But there's a very simple solution to getting a memory card built into this thing. That's what I'm holding in my hand right here. The NeoBiosMasta VMC version 3.5. This is a pretty neat thing. It's just plug and play. You don't really got to do shit. It's awesome. So it has a couple features here. Now say, for example, you wanted to add NeoBios 4.0 to your machine. You could disable the onboard NeoBios just by clipping it off or soldering a couple wires. I always found just clipping it off made the most sense for me. And then you can get a NeoBios 4.0 EEPROM and just plug it into this, and you got 4.0 and a virtual memory card. Pretty sweet stuff. So this is very simple. I already have an onboard NeoBios 4.0 that came stock from the creator of the OMVS, Taytalk Labs. So I don't have to worry about NeoBios 4.0, but I just want to show this real quick. So I've already disassembled this in a sense in that I took the screws out. Oh, I just dropped one from the top side. That's okay. But we have 5 underneath, and it's just Torx 10 to get those off if you have one of these. Otherwise, this is going to work for any, CBOX or consolized Neo Geo MVS. I just leave the screws in the top right here for the cartridge thing. That's why it fell out. So it's actually going to remove that. Let me get that out. Hopefully it's not stuck. There we go. That screw back in there so I don't lose it. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay this down so I don't scratch my paint job that I did to this thing. And then we're going to quickly install it. Well, actually, I'm not going to flip it over, so I didn't really need to put the cloth down, but it's okay. So with the screws out, I just need to kind of be careful here and get the back pried up a little bit. There we go. So once I got the back up, I just need to pull this forward and let these buttons come through and then unplug the LED indicator light down there. Now I could go through and unplug all this to get access to it, but all we have to worry about is this 6800 chip right here. So we have access to that without removing the complete top. So let me just zoom in and show you what it is we need to do real quick. And this is going to be, like I said, with any consolized Neo Geo. There's, very explicit, easy to follow instructions on the Neo Geo fan club website. But essentially, if you have a MVS 1C or MV1C, my bad, you're just going to pop this into that 6800. And on the actual NeoBiosMasta, it'll tell you the top of the 6800. That's the orientation. So you just have to look at how the writing is. So obviously, if you're looking at it and you can read it, this is the top on, the top of where you can read it, right? So we're just going to drop that part. See down here, it just plugs in. You got to get it on there though. Like you could get it like popped down on like one side. Like I'm pretty sure it didn't go all the way down, even though it may look like it. Yeah, the back parts aren't all the way down. Yeah, you got to get like a little bit of pressure on there. And you'll see like in that middle dot that it's kind of flush to that 6800 chip. And if you look at it from an angle, you won't see any of the pins from the 6800 underneath that connector. So once that's good and you confirm all the sides, because like I said, if you're not careful, you'll get this thing on there and it looks like it's on there, and then you'll put everything together and just a tiny bit of pressure or movement, it'll just pop off. So you got to make sure you have it in there. I've seen some people use hot glue to keep it down, but you know what? I haven't had any issues with it. I actually removed it to do this video. I haven't had any issues with it popping off. I really don't see it popping off with the snug fit it has on there. It actually took a little bit to pry it back off for me, but there we go. I'm gonna get this reassembled. All I gotta do is plug in the LED. But if you have like one of those CBOXes from, you know, from out in China and whatnot, you could pop this in there. Same thing. Like I said, if you're trying to add NeoBios 4.0, you're gonna wanna disable the NeoBios that you have on your board, and then, you know, get a new NeoBios and pop it into the VMC. So there we go. Let me line this up. I'm not gonna screw it back in. I'm not wasting your guys' time with the screwing action today, but I just gotta get this lined up in the back. Pop it all back down. That's done. And I could put the cart connector back in. I'm gonna at least screw those down so I could test this real quick. But it's pretty nice having the virtual memory card. If you play your Consolized MVS in like AES mode, like home mode, I mean, you could pretend you have an AES and then you have a memory card. You could save your progress. You know, there's a lot of games that works for. Same thing with the MVS where you could save progress, and that is pretty cool. So not 100% necessary. These are arcade games. You know, even the home console versions are essentially just the arcade game, but with a few different options and whatnot. So, you know, it's not 100% necessary, but it does come in handy. You know, some fighting games, you know, save, you know, your unlockables if there's anything unlockable, or, you know, your progress you made through it and continue on later, that kind of thing. So it can come in handy. Because the battery, you know, this has a battery in it. That's not for saves. That's for, like, you know, other things going on here. It's not for saving games. So you got to keep that in mind. We're going to get this plugged in and test it out in a second. There we go. Pop in Magical Drop 2. Why not? And there we go. So held down the buttons to get to the memory card manager to show you that we do have the memory card installed. So if we go to display stored data, you're going to see all the games that are saved on here right now. If you didn't have memory card access, you wouldn't have anything here. So there is that. We could reformat it. We could, you know, delete it, change the username, that kind of thing. So pretty cool. We have that going on. So if we ever need to save a game, we have access to it. I think that is pretty awesome. I'll put a link in the description to where you can order one of these. They're currently out of stock, but from what I have heard, they're going to be coming back pretty soon, possibly in the month of April, which we are already in. No April Fool's joke. Card load. Yes, please. Data load, okay. So there you go. We're in MVS mode right now, so very nice. Oh, sorry, I got into the game for a little bit, but there we go. Really do appreciate you guys hanging out and watching. Very awesome little, you know, add-on for any CBOX, Consolized MVS out there. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Big ass blurry thumb button in your face. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom.